Hey everyone, I want to give you a little update on the Gilroy's housing draft element that's right now for the planning period of 2023 to 2031. So the public comment period has ended. Staff says that they'll continue to accept public comment letters, which is great. That shows a lot of collaboration on the part of staff, and I appreciate that. So the public comment period ended October 12th, and last night at the city council meeting, we were able to look at all the public comment letters that have come back. And many of those public comment letters have showed that this first draft, if we were to send it to HCD as it is right now, it would fail. There's a lot of misrepresentation of programs. The sites inventory is not complete. There's other sites that are listed on there that they say that are vacant that are not. But that's, you know what, that happens in these housing elements, and that's happened in the past. And what staff committed to last night, which I commend them for, is not sending this draft into HCD, but actually making a second revision and sending that one in as our first draft. The city is mandated to wait 10 days after the public comment period is over to actually take meaningful to make meaningful responses of the public comments and work them into the housing element themselves, right? So that's the first time they can send that in is October 26th anyways, and HCD has up to 90 days to review this. And our draft housing element is due January 31st. So that you can clearly see that takes us over the 90 days anyways. So I also wrote a memo to staff with a lot of the concerns that I found on there. And, the good thing is that we live in a region that has a lot of advocates in this space, and we all stand together. We stand with staff, we stand with electeds, we stand with the public, and providing what the true needs are. And, this gives the opportunity to staff to send in a draft that they can be proud of, and frankly, that we can be proud of as a city. So what'll happen next is that the city will send this draft in. Like I said, they're going to revise it. It'll be the second version. They'll send that into state HCD. State HCD it'll assign a reviewer will be assigned to that, and you can still reach out to that reviewer and provide public comment based on the second revision. I'm pretty sure that between the advocates and the public, they'll be doing that. We'll get those comments back, and then staff will use those comments to draft a third revision. Now, that third revision won't be coming back in front of us at any point until probably January, maybe February, because I'm sure it's going to take staff a little bit of time to be able to incorporate those comments, right? And then the idea is that you get this housing element that meets the needs of the city, that breaks down barriers of the past, that shows sites that are available for development from extremely low income all the way up to above moderate. So all levels of affordability will be listed on there. It'll have a true, you have to be able to prove that these sites are going to be either redeveloped from commercial into residential, or there's some sort of letters of intent, that this person actually wants to develop on their property. And then every year we update the sites inventory. And then there's a couple of programs inside there too that we have like up to 2 years to develop it. One of those is an inclusionary housing ordinance, something that has always been written into our housing elements since 2007 is the last thing I saw, but it's never been implemented. But in the past, there was no consequences of having a compliance or a compliant housing element. Now there is. And that's true when we do our annual progress reports, our APRs. We have to show we're making progress towards programs that we promised that we're going to do. So the inclusionary housing ordinance is one of them that says that we'll complete it within 2 years. We'll see if staff changes that at all within the draft period. But more than likely, we're going to need to get that started soon in order to meet that program deadline. And that's something that's truly needed, because that's one of the barriers that staff and everybody has said that, hey, if we sprinkle a little bit of affordability throughout the entire city in different projects, that's one of the ways that we can further fair housing, right? And it's one of the other goals of the housing element is to break down segregation of the past. So that's also a program to break down segregation by putting different levels of affordability throughout the entire city. So that's really all the updates that I have for you right now. You won't see this until the new council is seated. That's another thing. The last time I gave an update on this, it was my plea to get people involved, get the youth involved, get council members to become not council members, but to get residents to become council members. Right. The nomination period was just opening. And so there's 3 candidates out there that are pro-housing candidates, and I want you to be able to look at those that really support a pro-housing agenda. And those 3 candidates are Jan Bernstein Shargan, Ronald Robinson, and Joseph Robinson. And the 3 of these individuals have not only been through some extensive questionnaires through organizations that support housing, but they have shown, and ways that whether it's through their questionnaires or just conversations with myself, that they truly are looking for ways to break down these barriers. So in the comments below, I will leave the agenda linked so you can see all the public comments. You can also look down below and you can be able to see my memo to staff as well. And then you're probably not going to hear from me about the housing thing until next year, January, when the new council is seated. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the community decides. This is the great time of year. You got to get out the vote. Nothing will change unless you pay attention and make a change. Thankfully, for a lot of the housing element stuff, it's not really up to the local discretion anymore. There's been so many barriers over the past that local electeds have put into place to get us here right now, where we got to push so hard for us to be able to have quality housing of all affordabilities. So, thanks for our state legislators who have stepped up and made sure that a lot of those barriers are broken down. But we need local leaders like myself who are not shy to be pro-housing and come out and join us. So get out the vote. Your ballots are they're probably either in your mailbox already or somewhere to get sorted. Get those ballots back by November 8th and support those pro-housing candidates. All right, bye.